Hello. If there's someone that doesn't come on, if people don't come on for the accountability check-ins on a Tuesday night, I thought I would share one of my blog posts. And one of them in particular, from ideal client journey to CRM or customer relationship management software and revenue growth. Now, this blog post was motivated after our most recent 90-day planning workshop on ideal client journey, and how once you know your ideal client and you've mapped out your ideal client journey, then connecting that to your CRM then generates increased revenue. So therefore the revenue growth. So what that I mean by that is, as you step out your client journey, you can use your CRM to progress through either a pipeline or just send you reminders as your clients progress through your planned journey. Now, remembering that clients aren't robots and they may not go through the exact steps that you map out, but you can guide them through for the best results for them. So what I've written here is to encourage you to see your business through your clients' eyes. So put yourself in the shoes of your clients. We often talk about ideal clients in terms of clarity, in terms of when you work out your ideal client, who they are, what they need, and how you help them, how you solve their problems. But there's another layer that matters just as much and is often overlooked. And what is it actually like to become your client? So imagine going through your business as one of your clients. So therefore, not from your perspective, but from theirs. So step into your ideal client's experience. Take a moment to step out your role as the business owner, coach, or consultant. Instead, place yourself in the position of your ideal client. So how have they come? How have they met you and your business? Was it through a referral? My best referral system for my businesses is through networking, and often LinkedIn posts and events or my blog posts then reinforce those meetings, in that sometimes it takes more than just meeting a business owner once before someone decides to engage and become a client in their business. So they're interested, they're curious, they're potentially ready, but people are also very busy. So they're not only just thinking and weighing up options and managing competing priorities. Like, for example, this is Tuesday after the Easter long weekend, and the Easter long weekend is also often the beginning of school holidays. So I've had quite a number of people interested in our next event, which is next Tuesday night, so a week from today. And normally booking in by now is not a problem, because these people have known about it for a long time. But Easter and the long weekend and school holidays is getting in the way of that for some people. So the people I've reached out to first thing this morning have been very appreciative that I've followed up, because it's kind of like a gazillion things that is happening and they just haven't got round to booking. So some of them have now. So ask yourself, is it clear how to take the next step? Does the experience feel easy and supportive? Do they feel confident moving forward? Because this is where your client journey becomes real. And my follow-up this morning was part of my client journey, that when someone expresses interest and I let them know, I suggest to book the week before so that we have time to send the catering. So they've got time to receive the catering. So for those who are interested, I generally follow up on the due date if they haven't had a chance to book in yet. And that's a moment where a lot of people kind of hesitate and think, I don't want to be too pushy or salesy. But honestly, if people have expressed genuine interest, they really appreciate the number of times people have said to me, thank you so much for the reminder or follow-up for them to book in, and so they don't miss out. So this is all about the experience that you've created. think about where your leads might be getting lost, in that you've met people, they've expressed interest, and they're not converting or they're not progressing. So an inquiry that doesn't receive a timely response is, so looking from the client's point of view, if you haven't had time to respond, a conversation that ends without a clear next step. So you've had a great engagement, but you haven't mapped out the clear next step ready for that particular client. Interest without guidance on what to do next. So it's your job to, your business well, to map out how to engage in your business. Intention to follow up, that never quite happens. So that's what I was talking about. Sometimes people feel like a follow-up is salesy, but honestly, most people who actually appreciate it. They haven't said no, but they haven't said yes either. There's space between interest and action. It's where many opportunities are quietly lost. And this is where an example, I worked with a business, a successful business. They just wanted to increase their revenue and see if there was any gaps or leaks. And we found a leak in that they had a 2 follow-up process. So it was a printing business. And when they received an inquiry, they then, based on the inquiry, they then provided a quote. And so once the quote was sent, there was an automatic email follow-up just to check they'd received it. But emails often get lost. And I think in their system, they had a second follow-up email. So what we did is we looked at their data and looked what was going through, and there seemed to be a lot of jobs, quotes just not converting. So they switched the second follow-up to a quick phone call, and it was amazing. It was quite a revelation, because a lot of clients that they contacted said, oh my goodness, I thought I'd already said yes to that, and thank you for the phone call, because otherwise it wasn't going to get done. Blocking that leak alone increased revenue significantly immediately. So it's about looking from your client's point of view of where it might get lost and slip through the cracks, because people are busy, and sometimes it's important to communicate in multiple ways. Someone might meet me on face-to-face networking, but then I connect with them immediately on LinkedIn, and then they see the activity and see my clients engaging with my business, which reassures them. And then they might come along with a once-off ticket to one of my events, or they might use my trial membership to check out an event and what it's like to be a member. Anyway, I digress from this blog post. Understanding from journey to structure. Understanding your ideal client is powerful. Mapping their journey is even more valuable, but without structure, even the best intentions become inconsistent. So this is where the CRM and sales pipeline become essential, because we all think we can hold all this information in our head, but when we get busy and overloaded, we forget things. It's not a complex system, but a simple supportive framework. A CRM helps you to track where each person is in their journey, follow up consistently and thoughtfully, reduce missed opportunities, and creates a smoother client experience. From the client's perspective, this feels like being remembered, being supported, being guided, and being valued. Follow-up is not pressure, it's professional. I've referred to this follow-up quite a lot. From us as the business owner to follow up. A concern that it may feel too much or too pushy or too salesy. But from the client's perspective, thoughtful follow-up, relevant follow-up rarely feels like pressure. It feels like you care. It feels reassuring. It feels like you're professional. You know where they're at, and you know what they're needing. Your ideal client is not waiting to be chased. They're waiting to feel confident in their decision. And often that confidence is supported by consistent, considered communication. And this directly links to revenue. So from journey to revenue, when you begin to see your business through your client's eyes, some things shift. You stop asking, how can I get more leads, and start asking, how well am I supporting the people already finding me? This is where your ideal client journey, your CRM and pipeline, and your follow-up process come together. And I've realized just sharing this with you and explaining it that I haven't really defined the pipeline. So I think I might make that another blog post and link that to this blog post. So essentially, for the purpose of this, a pipeline is just really the steps of a client's interest and journey. So for example, it might be they're a lead, so you've met them at a networking event. Then it's about qualifying the lead, because not everyone you meet may be interested, or they may not be appropriate for your business. So it's about, for me, is qualifying that lead, and then to communicate, get permission to communicate, and to encourage engagement. And so from my business is to encourage them to come to an event or to have a one-to-one meeting. Normally it's a one-to-one meeting, and then that normally, if we're a good match for each other, then that will convert often into either, if it's a coaching client, another more in-depth meeting before they become a one-to-one coaching client, or to have the trial membership or attend an event if they're considering the Ask Fleur Success Community. And often if they're just looking for one of my courses like LinkedIn 101, then they just, after meeting, because it's low risk and low price point, they normally just jump on in. And then that would be considered in your pipeline close, so that interest was closed, converted. And if it didn't work out for whatever reason, it would be considered closed loss. But I'll explain that in more detail in a blog post, and I'll share some screenshots of the pipeline steps that I use. So this is where your revenue becomes more predictable, not because you're doing more, but because you're supporting the journey with more intention, and you know exactly where you're at. So a simple reflection is if you were your ideal client, where might you feel unsure, unsupported, ready but waiting? Those answers will often show you exactly where your next opportunity for growth lies. Next step, growth isn't just about visibility, it's about what happens after someone finds you. And when your systems support your client journey, your business becomes clearer, more consistent, and therefore more sustainable, especially in revenue. So ready to strengthen your client journey. This is highlighted areas where leads may be getting lost. The next step is to bring clarity and structure to your business. I created the Next Level Success workbook. It's actually the ideal journey I like to take my one-to-one clients through. And I originally created this workbook to keep track on where those clients were going through, because not as a one-to-one bespoke coaching service, not everyone steps through that exactly in the 10 steps in the workbook. So therefore I was just using it to track that journey for my one-to-one clients, but realized if you weren't a one-to-one client and you just wanted to try and do it on your own, then it's the exact steps that I map out. But fortunately, lots of people see this, and being human nature, people have great intentions but don't always follow through. So people come and either work with me anyway, one-to-one, or through the success community. And it's my specialty area is all about defining that ideal client, mapping out the journey, and strengthening you and your systems, and giving you the confidence to follow up and what is working and decide what's working in your business. So this workbook and my approach to coaching is designed to help you clarify your direction, identify gaps in your client journey, and strengthen your pipeline and follow up to build a more sustainable path to growth. And there you have, it's on the homepage of my website, which I can just show you now because I'm on my website, because this is the blog. And you can go, what am I talking about? It's free. Sorry, this is the Next Level Success workbook. Ta-da! Right there, you just like log in and you receive it as soon as you've logged in. And that's it. So I think, let me stop sharing. If people don't have the opportunity to jump on for an accountability check-in, then I'll just share some knowledge. So you've all got the recording there for when you're ready. And I completely understand this being Tuesday after the Easter long weekend, people trying to frantically catch up with work. So I completely understand, but at least you've got this now as a resource for yourself in the community area of your membership. But also it made me realize that I needed to step out and explain the pipeline aspect of this a little better. So that's good. So that'll be the next topic of my next blog. And I hope you had a great long weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. For half of you are on the 7 a.m. call and half of you are on the evening session. So I look forward to seeing you all then.